Hello guys, every good name is taken here and welcome to another review for today. And what I've got for you is another or a one that has been requested by you guys, which is the Grille 15 as it was decided in the comment section of the last review. So what I want you to do of course is let me know which tank you want to see next, and if you see the one you like already in the comments, just give it a like, and the one with the most I will choose to do next. And also please consider to remember that I have done a couple of reviews already, so I won't redo those tanks that I have done so maybe have a look out for that. And without further ado, let's have a look at the stats of this tank, which I'm gonna be comparing to the Jagdpanzer E100. You have 3400 DPM, which is about 200 more than the Jagdpanzer. You have a penetration of 279, which is quite lackluster if you compare it to any other T10 tank destroyer. The Jag having 20mm more. With HE you got 334 penetration, which also is not the greatest, but it gets you through most situations. You also have 550 alpha damage with that, and your HE as well as the other shell types. Only 75mm of penetration, not the greatest. And you have of course the standard 960 alpha damage. You have a reload time of 11.2 seconds with your 150mm, which is compared to a Jag quite better. Though of course the Jag has a bigger caliber gun, so it will reload for longer. Your shell velocity is 1400 roughly, so your shells fly really quickly, which is not a bad thing, especially if you want to play this tank on long range. This really is a good stat that you want to have. You also have an amazing aim time of 1.36 seconds stock, which is 1 second quicker than that of a Jagdpanzer E100, so that is really nice. You have a dispersion of 0.27, making you probably the accurate T10 tank destroyer, at least I would assume. You only have 5 degrees of gun depression, which is 1 less than the Jaegerus, so you're gonna be a bit uncomfortable on ridgelines. And you also need to remember that you don't have a lot of gun depression over the front of your tank, but if you have your gun over the side, you just have a tiny bit more. So that is something you want to watch out for. You only have a limited gun arc as well. As you can see, you don't have a fully traversable turret. And for the Grille, it is 50 degrees to the left and 50 degrees to the right, giving you 100 degrees of a gun arc, which is still workable if you consider the speed of this tank. You have a top speed limit of 50 forward and 15 backwards, with an engine power of 840, which is not too bad, but if you can remember that this tank is quite light in terms of its weight, that is actually not too bad. You have a power to weight ratio of 21 horsepower per ton, so your acceleration is quite quick, meaning you can get around the map really nicely. You don't have a lot of traverse speed though. If you have a look at the replay here, it sometimes can turn quite slowly, and it just isn't made for speed in most regards. Your camo values aren't the greatest either. This tank is quite tall in size because of the turret, so especially after shooting you lose a lot of camo ratings because you have a 150mm gun. The bigger your caliber, the more camo you lose, and it has received a camo buff, but I don't think it really did it for the tank just yet. You have just a basic 260 view range, nothing to be proud of. You can't really spot for yourself on distance. Your HP is a default 1700, and I don't think we have to talk about the armor other than If you wanna avoid some HE, which this tank will get a lot of, block it with your gun. Just hold your gun in the front, try to see where the enemy is aiming at, and maybe try to deflect some with your barrel, because it is very long. And I mean very long. So if they hit the tip of your gun, they might damage it, but they're not gonna do any damage whatsoever. So that is a neat feature here. And with that said, let's see if Albedo Overlord he can finish off this game in his 1v1 against the Grille. Currently a one shot against that E100. Already on 6,400 damage, really good result. Puts one in, and as you can see, he did block it with his gun. Is gonna load his first and only heat that he fires in this game, and is gonna max roll into that E100 turret. Very well played there. 7,500 damage, 3 kills, 1.6k base XP, really well played. Especially considering that he played on Dynasty's Pearl, which is not a good map for tank destroyers, and that he played aggressively, which is one of two types of how you can play this tank. As yeah, you can play it aggressively like he did, or you could also play it on range, use your amazing gun handling, and just do that. And before we get into the live game, let me of course show you how I run this tank. I use it with an adrenaline and double repair kit in case I get tracked or my gun gets hit, because this tank has always loses something in battle, like your gun, your engine. Your crew members die often because of the amount of HE that you receive, so you don't want to miss out on those, especially on the multi-purpose. I'm running it with double food and fuel, pretty normal loadout. I have a bit low amount of heat, but I don't really think I need it too much because of the accuracy. Aiming at weak spots is not too difficult. I'm going with a gun rammer here, enhanced gunling drive. I don't think supercharge does it for this tank, especially since you don't have APCR, and AP doesn't lose a lot of pen. So just going with a bit of aim time here. And the refined gun to tweak that accuracy just that little bit more. You want to go for a defense system, as you're not going to be ramming anything, and as you take a lot of HE, this is going to be quite useful to you. Improved assembly, as you have no armor anyway. If you want to go for this, I would recommend you the toolbox to just repair your track quicker, in case you are being tracked and you don't want to use your repair kit. A camo net, because the camo values on this tank are quite horrible, with only 39 while stationary if you don't use a camo net. So I would recommend to use one, but you can of course also go for the optics if you want to. I also recommend to go for the improved control, as your traverse speed gets enhanced that slightly bit more. It's just more useful, and if you really want to take this as well, I'd go for the cooldown, because it just lets you use it a bit more often. And let's just jump straight into a live battle here. And we land on Desert Sands. 3 tier 10s per team. We are quote unquote set against a Jagdpanzer here, so that would be a nice comparison. We also have a Waffenträger in our team, which is always compared to this tank, in the way that some people say it is a better version, T for T. That is to be argued, but I think I'd still go for the Grille anyway. It just feels a bit nicer. And I'm gonna set up here for now. I will play a bit more aggressively later on, but I'd like to receive some information first about the location of my enemy. And they seem to have abandoned on the desert. As my two teammates have not spotted anything, I will move straight forward here, their E5 being super aggressive. And let's see if we can shut him down from doing any more trouble there. Good aim time in this tank makes you be able to snap quite a bit in it. Your soft stat might not be too good, but it helps you get through it. Nice 8 there, fortunately missed us. And We are really getting pushed here by quite a bit. Amount. There's the Jagdpanzer straight onto the side, of course. Trying to avoid the E5. Our teammates have to come in now, else it will be too late here. We have a max roll already. It didn't click, so not a waste there, but we would of course still liked to have had it. I'm really wishing for someone to put in. And there is that request done. FV peeks out a bit too aggressively and gets shut down. 5 here is coming back, so let's set up an ambush for him here. There he is. Straight into the tracks. Retreat around. Gonna use the repair kit here just in case. And what you can do with this tank as well is hug around the corner like this. And then just go immediately into hiding after. That was a poor misplay by me. I should not have peeked around that corner. And we unfortunately are going to lose this game. But I think I've showed how you can play with this tank. Even in a city environment. I mean, we have had the replay from before, which already showcased it quite nicely, but I think with a different terrain comes a different approach, and we just did not quite have the team coordination there. So we ended up doing 3k damage nonetheless, scored top here on the board. And yeah, we only bounced one shot against that Jaegeru at the end, who was staring right at us. Didn't miss a shot as well, which is a great thing about this tank. If you want to push up your hit ratio, maybe play a little bit of the Germans, precisely this or the mediums. Really good snipers. And yeah, this was it from me for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know what tank I should review next. This has been me, and see you all again next time. Bye bye.